Welcome back, Drill Freak Nation. We are now into episode 8. And what we're going to do today as part of our Better Impact series, we're going to work on ball position so we could see pretty much what we're looking for as far as positive shaft lean. How many degrees positive shaft lean? I talked about this in some of the previous episodes. So right now I have a wedge. One of my sand is actually a sand wedge, and I have on here, you can probably see, this is one of our latest offerings here. This is the swing trainer wrap, hitting zone swing trainer wrap. There's blue, and then there's red, and we can use this as a practice club when we're warming up. It is not something you would put on if you're going to be playing in tournaments, but if you have an old club laying around, an 8-iron, 9-iron, even a pitching wedge, something like that you want to practice, and check yourself for some really good hand positions. As long as you're seeing red, your hands are correct. There's no guesswork. All right, so one of the things I want to just show you here is ball position. So with the swing trainer, with the wrap on my sand wedge here, I'm going to move again from address into impact right there. So you can see I have a good amount of shaft lean moving from address into impact. Well, that's playing the ball pretty much close to my sternum or center of my stance. But let's just say I have a 6-iron in my hand. Well, that ball position is going to be a little bit more forward. It's not going to be where my sternum is. It's probably going to be more closer to my logo moving this way towards the target. So we'll go from that position now, address, and you can see the shaft lean now has diminished. There's only maybe a few degrees, maybe about 6, 8 degrees right about there, something like that, and that depends again on your ball position. So let's just say too with the driver, I'm going to grab my driver here, and I like playing my driver just inside my lead heel, and again these are personal preferences depending upon the ball flight you're trying to achieve, how you're trying to work it as far as a trajectory and things like that, and even spin rates. So if you have a guy who is maybe playing more of a draw, a right to left, or being a right-handed player, he might play that ball maybe a little bit more back in his stance, so the club comes in a little bit more from the inside by the time the club head gets to the ball, and he'll be able to get that club moving out a little bit more right of his target. Opposite that are guys who maybe like to move the ball, the power faders, and they'll play the ball a little bit more forward in their stance, and they're going to come in usually again even with the golf ball, or sometimes slightly behind the golf ball depending upon the type of ball flight they're trying to achieve and trajectory. So I hope you like that. I'll bring that back in here. This is just a great way, because what happens is there are a lot of people who will ask me, well, what kind of shaft lean should be on my mid irons, my longer irons, and driver. So we can basically use this as a guide. So let's just say if I had a shorter club in my hand, and in this case again, one of my wedges, well obviously we're going to play it. We're going to have more shaft lean coming in. You can see that right there. If it was a 6-iron, more mid-iron to even, let's just say a hybrid, you're probably only going to have a little bit of shaft lean right there coming through because the ball is being played more forward. But again, we're still trying to get it where our hands are slightly beating this club head a little bit or arriving at the same time. That's fine too. And then we're looking at a driver position, as I said earlier. You know, if you play it forward in your stance, you're going to probably catch it more on the upswing. Might start moving a little bit left, kind of get a little chandelle, power fade, bringing it out to the left and falling back down towards your target, or maybe a little bit, maybe 1 inch, or some guys even will play it even back a little bit further this way towards their sternum, maybe 1 inch or 2 inches inside their lead heel, and they're trying to come in a little bit from the inside, and they'll kind of overcook the hands a little bit to get that little draw bias and bring that ball back. That'll be a little bit lower of a trajectory as well. So when we talk about impact, it will change a little bit depending upon the club that you're working with. I suggest again, as you work through this, start with maybe a pitching wedge, a sand wedge, pitching wedge, a 9-iron, and do some of these drills later on when you start hitting with those clubs, just to start getting the feel of it. Your ball position, just move it to where you've been playing it. You could experiment a little bit, but once you move your ball position, you're going to see some positive shaft lean diminish, and that's perfectly okay. as long as the hands are slightly beating the club head coming through. All right? Listen, Drill Freak Nation, we'll catch you guys back again for episode 9. Peace and love. We'll catch you guys back again real soon.